I'm Professor Neil Sharples from Cardiff University. I've been working on hill forts for 20 to 30 years. We know very little about hill forts in South Wales. There are very, very few hill forts have been excavated. None of them have been excavated to anything like the scale that's required to understand how they're being used in this area. It's a very fine hill fort on the edge of Cardiff. For this area, it's one of the largest hill forts, which suggests it's a significant power centre for the Cardiff and Vale of Glamorgan area.
Hi Professor, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Many people, I'm sure they think, it's just a matter of sort of just digging a big hole and hopefully you'll get to the bottom of it.
We take off the topsoil, the humic material full of vegetable matter, which, and worms and things like this. All the organic life is in the topsoil. And then the idea is that you clean it up and you identify all the different layers and you try to strip them off in reverse order of when they were deposited. They all have relationships with each other. If a layer touches another layer, then it's either over or underneath that layer, and we try to peel off the ones that are overlying, which are the most recent, and get back to the earliest ones.
Put a slot, this is the southern part of Trench 3, and at the start of the day we dug a slot through the inner rampart of the hill fort, which you can see here, which is constructed of this green clay. So we dug down through it to see its construction. And we recently, CAER gave us permission to extend the slot into the front of the rampart, because we want to identify how the rampart's being constructed. Did it have a wall at the front, what we call a revetment? If it did, was that timber revetment? Was it a line of posts, or was it a stone revetment?
Okay, I'm a geoarchaeologist or environmental archaeologist, so I'm here to help them understand the soils, the sediments and the formation process on site, and try and put the site back into its landscape, but also understand some of its construction and some of the wider history. And the first phase is this material here, which is the material quarried from behind me and thrown up on top of the soil, and then they went away and then they came back and they ran all over the soil and all over the rampart, creating this trample horizon. It's a mixture of topsoil, it's a mixture of the natural, it's all been churned up, and this is possibly what was on the feet of the builders of the rampart. And so it isn't a soil forming in situ, it's just a mixture of material. And then later they got heavy and they started bringing in vast quantities and tons of material to create this rampart here. Now the archaeologists can tell everyone about this, but the definition of these two horizons is what I've been able to do by description.
So there's more to come?
Lots more, yeah. This is just the beginning.
And it's turned out to be a really interesting part of this trench. When we had a soil scientist look at this, he told us that it was a layer of trample. When we get into the lab, we can analyse the soil samples that have been taken, and hopefully that will provide us some data about whether that sort of brown deposit in the middle is trample or whether it is a soil horizon. And we're also going to have taken samples from the brown stuff at the bottom here, this, what I called an occupation layer. We've taken samples from that, but we're going to get charcoal after that. I can see charcoal in the section here, and hopefully we'll be able to date that, and we'll be able to give us a date of that occupation before the rampart. And that date might be in the Bronze Age, it might be in the Iron Age, but that will indicate when or after when the rampart must have been constructed.